Welcome back, everyone. So we just did a card draw. It was a sacred geometry activation card, which is really neat. And it invited us to working on remembrance of on that deeper level, right? Of who we are and all that we know and being able to access that and bring it into this experience, right? So I thought it would be really fitting to do a practice today, just a short practice where we could work on that. So quieting our mind, tuning in to that deep soul remembrance. So to start, we'll start in a seated, cross-legged position. Absolutely, you can come down in Shavasana on your back in constructed rest if that's what you prefer. Either option is totally fine to start. So once you're in your preferred position, if you're in the seated, we'll just take a moment. We'll just roll open the shoulders, get comfortable. I'm sitting on a cushion today. If you're on your back, you want to get nice and centered as well. A cushion under your head or knees might be appropriate. And just have the arms at the sides, palms facing up. In the seated position, we're going to rest the hands either palms down or up. So for me today, I'm feeling like I really want to have the palms down. I find that a little more grounding, centering. And then closing your eyes when you're ready, just to begin the practice. We're drawing our attention inward here, noticing, bringing your focus to the flow of your breath. So we're not altering our breath in any way. You're just noticing what your breath is doing. What does it feel like to inhale? What does it feel like to exhale? So now bringing the right hand to the heart center, left hand to your belly, and just staying now with that natural breath that you have been able to access. And just noticing at the heart center as we breathe in, feeling the movement. And as we breathe out, feeling the softening. And sending now on our next inhale, our breath a little deeper, feeling an expansion in the belly, up into the chest. Exhale, feeling the hand on the chest relaxing down, and then on the belly relaxing as well. Gentle pulling into the belly. Inhale, belly expands, then chest. Exhale, chest softens, then belly. Inhale, belly and chest. Exhale, chest and belly. So doing 5 more rounds, just the flow of your own breath. Filling all the way up and then emptying all the way down to the belly. Last one. So no forcing, just letting that breath naturally move all the way in and down. And then on the last exhale, just softening naturally. Falling back into your natural breath rhythm. And just listening carefully inward. noticing what is there. And just noticing how you are feeling now overall, physically. How is your body feeling in this moment? Emotionally, how are you feeling? There's no right or wrong way to feel, just noticing what's there. And then noticing your thoughts. Can you observe any thoughts that are going on in your mind? Are there lots of thoughts? Or maybe not. Just noticing that. And I invite you now just to say quietly to yourself, I remember myself beyond doing. I return to what is true. I remember myself beyond doing. I return to what is true. Deep breath. So setting the intention now to return to what is true. And when you're ready, you can slowly begin to open your eyes and just bring yourself back into the space. You can rest the hands back down on the knees or thighs for a moment. Deep breath just to bring yourself back. There we go. All right, so we're going to work a little bit on just releasing our neck and shoulders, because if you're like me, that's where you tend to hold a lot of tension. So we're going to take a deep breath in, reaching the crown of the head up. Exhale, bringing the chin down towards the chest. And we're going to do a few nods like this. So inhale, bringing the head back up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, head back up. Take your time, there's no rush. Exhale, chin to chest. Now, this time, we're going to stay with chin to chest for a couple breath cycles. Our next inhale, we're going to slowly roll the head so that the left ear comes towards the left shoulder. So take it nice and slow here. And then we're going to pause with left ear towards left shoulder for a couple breaths. Option to bring the right fingertips out to the mat for a little more stretch. So accessing that deep quality of breath. And then on the next exhale, rolling slowly, chin towards chest. Inhale, right ear towards the right shoulder. So option to bring the left fingertips down to the mat. Pause here for a couple breaths. One more deep breath. And then exhale, chin to chest. Now we're going to flow with our breath. So just nice and slowly inhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear towards right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. One more on each side, so take your time. Next time chin comes to chest, just inhale, head back up to neutral. Resting the hands on the knees or thighs. All right, so already feeling a little more space in the neck. All right, so we're gonna move into some shoulder circles here. So inhale, using the hands on the thighs for some support. We're gonna roll the shoulders forward and then exhale, rolling the shoulders back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. So it's going with the flow of your breath. Let your breath lead. Just taking this time. We're not efforting in a really extreme way here. We're just listening inward. What does this feel like as we're flowing with our breath? Next time you bring the shoulders down, we're going to flow in the opposite direction. So inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Just listening inward. Are we noticing any difference? This change in direction. Let's go 2 more full cycles. All right, next time you complete that exhale, just coming back to neutral. All right, we're gonna take the legs just out in front for a moment here. We've been in the cross-leg position for a little while, so we'll take the legs out in front, coming into our seated staff pose. I'm still gonna sit on my cushion. I find I'm really enjoying that today. The hamstrings are really tight. You're feeling any pinching or extra strain, remember you keep a little bend in the knees. Flexing the toes towards you. So we're going to keep those shoulders nice and open. Inhale, arms come all the way up. And then exhale, hinging at the hips, coming into a seated forward fold. So I can tell my hamstrings are really tight today. So I'm just going to access that deep quality of breath. Be respectful of where my body's at here. And see if I can just create a little more space. Let's go 2 more full breath. Take your time. Today's practice is about taking our time so we can have moments to listen and to connect with that deeper part of us, to remember. It's always there, but we get very distracted when we're really busy. So important to take that time to come back. All right, and when you're ready on an inhale, just slowly guide yourself all the way back up. We're going to come into a bound angle. So soles of the feet come together. Hands can bring the heels towards your torso. Get nice and tall in your spine. Reaching the crown of the head up on the inhale. Exhale, option to come into a fold. So we're all going to be a little different here, right? Some of us might already be feeling lots in that upright position. You stay right there. Option, though, to come into a deeper fold. Just keep that length in the spine. Okay, wherever that is for you, you can walk your hands up for support. Noticing with every breath how the body softens. It's really amazing. All right, and then inhale, walking all the way back up. Okay. And I'm going to come into a cross-leg position again. So this time the opposite direction maybe that we were in last time. There we go. Whatever feels a little bit awkward, we'll go that option this time. Then we're going to take our arms out to the sides, palm facing up. Inhale, flowing all the way up. And then exhale, we're going to come into a seated supine twist. So we're just going to bring that left hand to start down towards the right knee. Right hand comes behind and gaze goes over the right shoulder, if it's okay on the neck. Finding your breath. Nice and easy here. Again, not over efforting. Just listening inward. Where is your edge today? Being respectful of that. One more breath. Exhaling, release. Hands out to the sides again, palms facing up. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, twist on the other side. So this time, right hand down towards the left knee for support. Gaze over the left shoulder. Keeping that length in the spine. Not having to over twist. One more breath. And then exhale, release. I'm just going to do a few rounds of seated cat and cow. So hands on the knees or the shins, whatever feels most natural for you. On an inhale, we're going to open up the chest, bring up the chin, tilt back the pelvis. Exhale, tucking the chin and pelvis and curving the spine. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, tucking the chin. And just flowing with your breath. No particular speed you need to be going at. Really creating a little more opening in our shoulders and our upper back. All along our spine. Couple more full cycles. Last one. And after your last exhale, just inhale back to your neutral seated position. Take a moment here. Deep breath. Just notice how you're feeling in your space. Notice any space you've created inside. All right. So now we're going to bring the hands out in front, coming into a tabletop. So perhaps wanting to move the cushion off to the side, if you have one. And we're just going to bring the hands are under our shoulders. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Initially, the knees are under our hips. So just getting centered here in tabletop to start. Okay. And then when you're ready, bringing the big toes together. I'm going to bring my knees a little wider than the hip distance. And on an exhale, bringing the hips back onto the heels. So coming into child's for a few breaths. Forehead can be down on the mat, or you can turn the head to one side and rest on your cheek. Letting the elbows rest down on the mat. Option to bring the elbows or arms down at your sides as well, if that feels more natural for you. Taking a moment here again to listen within as you're just being. We're going to listen to the wisdom within. It's amazing when we get quiet and still. What can bubble up? That's very helpful. Two more breaths. All right, and on your next inhale, bring yourself back up into the tabletop. So we're going to bring the hands, make sure they're under the shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide, knees under the hips. We're going to tuck the toes, deep breath in. Exhale, hips back towards the heels, giving the arch of the feet a nice stretch. Nice. And on your next inhale, we're going to bring our hips back into the tabletop, and we're going to step our right foot forward. So you can use your hands to help guide that right foot forward. Okay. And we're going to make sure that the right knee is stacked over the right ankle. Okay, so back toes can either be tucked or untucked here. So we're in our supported low lunge. So on an inhale, option to bring the arms all the way up into our full low lunge. You can do the cactus arms if you prefer. Find your breath. One more breath. Opening up the heart, and then exhale. Let's bring the hands down to the mat. And then we're going to walk the hands towards the back knee as we lengthen the front leg. We're going to flex the right toes towards you as we lengthen that front leg. Inhale, coming up on the fingertips. Okay. Exhale, we're going to hinge forward just till we're feeling again a nice stretch. So that's going to be a little different for everyone. Here we are in our half splits. So drawing gently that right hip crease back, that really intensifies that stretch for sure. Deep breath. So one more breath. And then on your next breath, we're going to bring a bend to that front knee. Hands to the front of the mat for support here, tucking the back toes if they're not tucked. And we're going to step that right foot all the way back, and we're coming into our downward facing dog. So deep breath. Fingers spread nice and wide, hips drawing upward. You can let your head just hang here. Inhale, we're going to step the left foot forward this time, coming down on the right back knee. Back toes can either be tucked or untucked. We're in our supported low lunge now on the other side. So option here to bring the arms all the way up, full low lunge. This time, I think I'm going to clasp the hands behind my back, roll the shoulders onto my back. A little bit of a heart opener. Connecting you to that energy of the heart. Our connection to that deeper wisdom. One more breath. And then exhale, hands come down to the mat. We're going to walk the hands again towards the back knee as we lengthen the left leg. It's coming into our half splits on the other side. So initially on an inhale, on the fingertips, and an exhale, slowly hinging as the left toes flex towards you. Gentle pulling back of that left hip crease. Finding your ease of breath. This side feels amazing. One more breath here. And then exhale, let's bring a bend to the left knee. We're going to walk those hands back forward. There we go. And this time we're going to step that left foot all the way back, coming into our tabletop. Bringing the knees nice and wide, big toes together. Exhale, hips back onto heels, down into child's. So connecting again with your breath. Bringing your attention inward. What is there for you to see? What is there for you to feel? Can you just be with that? Let yourself just be. On your next inhale, we're going to bring ourselves all the way back up into our tabletop. And then we're just going to come up onto the knees. I'm just going to guide myself so you can see a little better. There we go. So the knees are, now if you have really like, this is not good for your knees, then just skip this part, okay? But ideally, the knees are about hip distance apart. You can use extra cushioning under the knees too, like a cushion. That's kind of nice. And then we're just going to extend our right leg. So you can bring your hands down to the mat if you need to help support yourself here. We're going to bring that right leg out to the side. And toes are just pointing forward. So still trying to keep that left hip over the left knee. Right hand palm down on the extended right leg. Inhale. Let's take that left hand palm up all the way up. And then exhale. We're going to slide that right hand long down the legs, coming into a side gate stretch here. Find your breath. It's one of my favorite side stretches in the morning. Find it gets right down nicely into that external hip there. And that is a problem area for me. So one of my faves. Inhale. Let's bring that left hand all the way up. We're going to bring it down to the mat underneath the left shoulder. And then inhale. We're going to extend that right arm all the way up and over into a nice side stretch. Extending those right fingertips long. And then we're going to, on an exhale, guide those right fingertips down and then coming back up onto the left knee. So we're going to bring that right knee under the right hip for support. Find your breath. There we go. And when you're ready, again, using the hands if you need to help support you into this position, or extend that left leg long out to the side. So the left toes are pointing forward. Left hand is down on the outside of that left leg. And when you're ready, feeling nice and supported here with the right hip over the right knee, we're going to inhale that right arm all the way up, get nice and tall. And then exhale, side bend, keeping the chest open. Gaze can be up at the top hand or forward, whatever's good on your neck. So finding your breath. One more breath. And when you're ready on an inhale, let's come all the way. I'm going to come all the way. My shoulders want to stretch forward a little bit. Up. There we go. And then that right hand under the right shoulder. And that's the thing in our own practice, right? That's what I love at home too. If something just feels like I want to move this way a little bit, and I know it's not part of the normal way of doing it, you just do it, right? It's your body, it's your practice. Inhale, left arm up and over. Oh, there we go. Deep breath. So gaze is wherever's good on the neck. So for me, I just felt like I wanted to look up at that top hand. But if that's too, adding a strain, then it's down at the mat or it's forward, right? One more breath. Exhale. Let's reach those left fingertips forward and then down, rolling down. Okay. Coming down onto the mat. So option here to come down into a seated, sitting on the hip or hips on the heels. Okay. If this is like, you know what, my knees need a break after that, just come into a seated cross-leg position. Okay. And we're going to clasp the hands behind the back. There we go. And rolling the shoulders onto the back, and gaze is upward. Just creating a little bit of heart space here and connecting with that deep breath. One more breath. And then exhale, release the hands, release the arms. And pause here for a couple breaths with the eyes closed. So deep listening inward. All right. And then we're going to bring our hands down to the mat to swing the feet out in front. Extend the legs out in front. And we're just going to slowly use your hands to help guide your back onto the mat. Coming down onto the mat. And then we're going to bring the soles of your feet together like a bound angle. But we're going to do recline bound angle. So we don't need to bring the feet up super close to the body. We're just making kind of a diamond shape here with the legs. Now, if this feels like a bit much, you can definitely use blocks or cushions under the knees here for support. Or, of course, you can extend the legs long if you need to at any time. We're going to bring the right hand to the heart center, left hand to the belly. And we're going to connect again to our breath. Coming back to that rhythm of breath that we started with. So on the inhale, feeling our belly rise and chest rise. Exhale, chest falls, belly falls. Inhale, belly rise, chest rise. Exhale, chest falls, belly falls. A few more rounds of breath just like that. All right, and when you're ready, you can release that breathing technique. And then extend the legs long down the mat. Let your arms come out to your sides, palms facing up. Moving into our final Shavasana position. So feel free to support yourself in this position, maybe a cushion behind your head or under your knees, maybe a blanket, whatever you need. Make those adjustments now. And then once you move into your final Shavasana position, come to stillness. And taking a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. And remind yourself that there's nothing else to do now. You are just allowing yourself to be. And beginning now to deepen your breath. Nice and easy. Gently bringing yourself back. Maybe giving your body a little bit of movement. Take your time, but when you're ready, you can guide yourself onto one side and pause there for a few more breaths. Use your arm as a cushion for your head if you need to. And then when you feel ready, you can guide yourself back up into that seated cross-leg position. Once you arrive in your seated cross-leg, you can just let your hands rest on the knees or thighs, and then closing your eyes. Reminding yourself that you are remembering. I return to what is true. And bringing the palms together, thumbs at the heart center. May what you remember here walk with you off of your mat today. Taking a moment of gratitude for our time and our space for our practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice for just coming quiet and still, and in that place, remembering what is true for us. So important in these times, for sure, to take moments like this. So thanks again for joining me. Until next time, take care. Bye.